You are listening to the Knightline Sports Network, brought to you by Travis Dever and the Dever team, 386-690-1636.
This is WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, Orlando's news and talk.
Welcome to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Night Nation's only call-in show goes live now.
All right, hello Night Nation, hello Orlando. This is Andrew Phegley, and this is Knightline at Night. We're live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Parr Law, assisting injured veterans get the help they deserve. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036, or visit protectingvets.com. You can also call Travis Dever for all your New Smyrna Beach real estate needs, 386-690-1636. But we are taking your calls, 844-580-9326, 844-580-9326. Call us and talk to us about UCF football. I won't argue with you. Call me and tell me what you think is going to fix the problems that we have, whatever. I won't argue with you. Just call me. We'll have fun. Or you can use the open mic feature in the WDBO app. Once again, I am Andrew Phegley, AP_Knightline on Twitter. Big Ben Stout is out this week again. Roger Phipps is with me, though, at Night Bengal on Twitter, and you can find all the rest of our content on NightlineSports.com. Roger, I've got a sound that I'm going to play, and I want you to tell me what it is. Okay? Are you ready? Everybody out there, just check it out. You know what that is, Roger?
It sounds like a spring or Tigger bouncing along.
Well, it has something to do with UCF football. Those are people jumping off of the bandwagon, and it's awesome.
Got it.
I love it. I love that people are jumping off the bandwagon. In fact, I am bringing back the segment of the Twittiot of the Week. Twittiot of the Week. And it can be from Facebook. It doesn't have to be from Twitter, but it just sounds better as Twittiot. So this is it right here. There was a lot to choose from this week. A lot. We're talking UCF football, by the way. That's what we talk about on the show. Or sports, UCF sports in general. But this is it right here. Heupel is the better of the two in comparison to Gus. Heupel will do more, get more out of his talent. UCF is in for a lot of disappointment. Now, this guy may be an Auburn fan. I'm not sure. So it may be a troll job, but it's still the dumbest comment that I heard all week long. It obviously worked out really good for Heupel the other night in Tennessee. And their fans, what horrible fans, by the way.
Throwing on the field.
Golf balls at Kiffin, at his head. Who does that? Like,
apparently Tennessee fans.
That is the lowest level of anything that I've ever heard of as far as fans interacting. I mean, except, I don't know, somebody's peed on somebody at some point probably. But anyway, that's just ridiculous. Okay, well, going on with everything else. 56-21 was the score. Cincinnati Bearcats over the UCF Knights. Could have been a lot worse. It was a lot worse for Temple last week. So, it is what it is. Here's the deal, though. I am convinced, I am 110% convinced, and I wasn't before, that Cincinnati is the real freaking deal. Like, absolutely the real deal. They had it together in every single aspect of that game. We obviously didn't. We weren't really expecting to. We had... we have tons of injured players. We have a freshman quarterback. This was his third start. If you look back in history at third start freshman quarterbacks playing against number 3 on the road at their house, I bet it's not very good. I bet the stats are not very good. Mikey Keene, 16 of 27, 141 yards, 5.2 average. Quarterback rating of 31.6, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. It is what it is. Couldn't get the ball going in any way. But Cincinnati's defense is awesome. They're awesome. I'm almost becoming a fan of Cincinnati. I know that sounds crazy, but I've watched everything that they've done over the last week or two. I've watched their press conferences. I've watched, their prep and videos and stuff that I see online. Luke Fickell is absolutely one of the nicest guys, period, in college football. He's like, I'm a Luke Fickell fan, if anything. Maybe I'm not a Cincinnati fan. I'll never be a Cincinnati fan, but I'm a Luke Fickell fan, and I will root for him anywhere he goes. But I'm not obviously going to root for Cincinnati. I'm sure he's going to go someplace after this. LSU job just opened up. Anyway, Roger, do you want to say something? I'm sorry. I just drove. I just drove like 3.5 hours back from Sanibel to get here in time to do this show, and I had a lot of time to think. And so
I can tell. For me, look, I called it a loss. I knew it was going to be a loss. I didn't think it was going to be this bad. I mean, honestly, it wouldn't have been this bad had we not had so many special teams miscues. Their defense was super impressive. I couldn't wait to watch them this year. The thing that I respected the most as a former defensive player was when you watched our defense. They run to the ball, which is great. But when they have specific assignments where they have certain coverages, they're not as patient on waiting for those and end up taking bad angles. Cincinnati's team won team speed. They ran with, I think, 6 DBs at one point. Their team speed was impressive on defense.
Their team speed was impressive on everything.
Well, they had Ford, the transfer from Alabama, and he shined. But
20 carries, 189 yards, 9.5 per carry, longest 79, 4 touchdowns. Just so you know.
Yep, and thanks for that and reminding me how terrible our defense was.
Well, 336 yards they ran for on the ground. They are the real deal. They're number 2, I think, now in the AP poll, correct? The AP poll came out. Yeah. Which I figured they probably would because Iowa lost. And they deserve number 2. Like last week, I was saying that I didn't think that they deserved, whatever, blah, blah, blah. No, they're legit. I take everything back that I said. I don't like them, but they're legit. And
they did make adjustments. The other thing when you're talking about Fickell, right? Not only, he had that conversation about Gus immediately after in his post-game presser.
The other thing is sorry. I got to go with that though. How cool is that? It's for those of you that don't know, Gus had to rush off after the game. Did a little bit of a press conference, like 5 minutes to the UCF people that were the media that was there, but had to rush off to see his daughter in Alabama or Georgia or something because she's having issues due to childbirth. And Fickell comes out in his press conference and says, "Hey, look, Gus had to go, flew out on a plane. His daughter, prayers for her." How cool is that? Like, seriously, How freaking cool is that? He didn't want Gus to look bad to the Cincinnati media that wanted to talk to him. That's what it was. He did not want him to look bad. And how many other football coaches out there, there's not a lot, that would do that to their opponent that's kicked their butts before for years, and I really, really appreciate him being like that. All week long, he had good things to say about UCF. He didn't dog him. He didn't make, snide remarks. He didn't make tongue-in-cheek, stuff. He's very professional. He's a good dude. There's not a lot of good dudes out there, but he is definitely one of them, and I appreciate that. Go ahead. I apologize.
No, that's okay. I agree with you there, and he's got not only is he a good dude, but he passes that on to his team. I mean, Desmond Ridder last week was talking about how he was surprised that Notre Dame was so quiet. He said UCF was louder. They've all been very, very complimentary of UCF in general. But I think he exudes that, and he kind of pushes those values on his team, that hard work as well, and just like general discipline. I mean, when you look at that team, yes, they're senior laden, but they all knew where they needed to be when they needed to be there, and they never stopped. Like, you didn't see anybody not chasing the ball on
taking plays off
defensively or taking plays off offensively. They were all moving at full speed, and that's the sign of a good football coach. And they had some penalties. There was that targeting penalty. I think they had something like 9 penalties or something like that. But other than that, they played solid, clean football. Desmond Ridder had some guys drop some balls, but by and large, and the big thing that impressed me was he made adjustments. UCF was making some headway and getting some 3 and outs, especially during the second half. And, it got to be about like right at the start of the fourth quarter, and they made some adjustments offensively, and then all of a sudden they started blowing the tops off it again. So UCF, I mean, congratulations to T. Will. He definitely made some adjustments that was stopping what they were doing. But then again, congratulations to Fickell's staff for making the appropriate adjustments to start getting the game going again. But the last thing I'll say is special teams. If you're talking about a complete team, which is what Andrew just said, look at their special teams versus our special teams. I mean, it was the special teams play cost us at least 14 points. I don't know what was up with that Willie Mays catch or the
that
fumble.
Was stupid is what that was.
Anything.
Amari Johnson should never have tried to catch a punt like that. That's just
within
dumb.
the 10-yard line.
Did he lose it in the sun or something? He couldn't see it or something. That was stupid. That's
it was close enough. It would have bounced into the end zone. None of their gunners were close enough.
Like, just let that go if you lost it. And I'm sure they're telling him that. I'm sure they told him that when he ran to the sideline. That was stupid. Let it go next time. Like,
yeah. But that turned into at least 14 points and, all the shanked punts and everything else, short fields.
Yeah,
so
can anybody that's listening punt that has NCAA eligibility left? Like, seriously. I don't even know. I'm going to have to look at the roster and see what we have for punters, because there's got to be something better than what's going on right now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
Osteen
ridiculous.
has just tanked this year.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a pretty good soccer team. That might be worth a look.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the only one that really ever kicks a ball like that, I mean, out of their hands, doesn't the goalie do that every once in a while?
Correct.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe there's a goalie. There has to be an Australian someplace. I mean, everybody has Australian punters now. They did. He's great. Osteen, though, I'm sorry, man. It's horrible. It's the inconsistency is what is crazy about the entire thing. Because he'll kick one, he'll kick a 60-yarder, and then kick a 10-yarder.
Yeah,
or kick one. Just it's ridiculous.
Well, and the blocking has been terrible as well from our team, and then the snaps have been late. Not all of that is on Osteen. Some of that is on the snapper. Some of that is from the blocking scheme that we have set up, and it seems that there's always somebody on the edge that manages to make it there in time.
Yeah, we're not doing good on punts, especially, and we've had to punt a lot recently. So, it's not like they're not getting their practice. It's just not good. So hopefully they can get that going. There's a bunch of stuff that needs to get going. We'll hear from Coach Gus when we come back, and we'll talk about a bunch more of this. We'll be right back on Knightline at Night.
An auto accident can change your life forever. At Chad Barr Law, we are raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Hi, I'm Chad Barr, and I want you to know that our entire team is dedicated to providing you with the representation you deserve in your greatest time of need. If you or a loved one have been injured in an auto accident, call 407-599-9036 for a free consultation or visit chadbarlaw.com. At Chad Barr Law, our clients come to us in need and leave as family. Offices, Altamont Springs.
Hey, this is Travis Dever, Kai's Real Estate, the Dever team, New Smyrna Beach. Your source for real estate and everything else New Smyrna Beach. Proud sponsor of Knightline. Call me anytime at 386-690-1636. That's 386-690-1636. Let me show you my hometown, New Smyrna Beach, UCF's favorite beach. Go Knights and charge on.
Looking for more out of your Porsche? Look no further than Flat6Motorsports.com. They have the widest selection of aftermarket Porsche parts anywhere in the world. With over 85 product lines and in-depth expertise, Flat6Motorsports.com is your one-stop shop for any Porsche performance needs. Whether you're shopping for intakes, exhausts, suspension, or tuning, they have you covered. Flat6Motorsports.com is the premier Porsche aftermarket specialist. Check them out at Flat6Motorsports.com.
And now, back to Nightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, Andrew Phegley back with you here on Nightline at Night, live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barr Law. We're talking about UCF football on this particular show. 56-21 loss to the Cincinnati Bearcats, the now number 2 ranked Cincinnati Bearcats. And if you missed the beginning of the show, I am completely on board with them being ranked number 2, by the way that they decimated UCF. Decimated. I mean, it was horrible. And you know, I don't think that it was all UCF's fault. Cincinnati is just that good. We didn't get embarrassed nearly as much as Temple did last week, which is good. We're far and away better than Temple, even if we're injured and everything else. So Mikey Keene did not have a good day. 16 of 27, 141, 5.2 average, touchdown, 1, 2 interceptions. Quarterback ranking of 31.6. Here's what Gus had to say about the game after the game.
First of all, congratulations, Cincinnati, on the win. They're as good as advertised. Congratulations to them. Well, we didn't play well. For us to have a chance, we would have had to play really well offensively. The first half, wasn't able to run the football, get anything going. Defensively, I thought did some solid things in the first half. I think they lost a little hope right there when they were on the field a lot. Special teams, they had the big, I think they got a hand on the punt, gave them a short field. With that at halftime, we kind of regrouped a little bit, came out with a little bit of spark in the second half. We got to have big plays. I mean, and we had a couple explosive plays that led to points. Defensively, had trouble stopping the run. Special teams, we had another really catastrophic thing happen, getting the ball inside the 10-yard line, and against one of the best teams in the country, you can't do that. And so they beat us handily. We got to take it like men. We're halfway through the season, and we got to get better. So now as coaches, we know what we have and all that, and we need to finish this thing strong. All righty.
Well, that's what Gus had to say right after the game. It is what it is, kind of. He knows that they didn't play well. He knows that we went out there and kind of got embarrassed ourselves a little bit as well. So, Roger, would you like to add anything to that?
Just a couple things. One, worst loss in Gus Malzahn's coaching history. So that was interesting.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting.
And also, this was the first time in 4 years that we have lost by more than 7 points during the regular season.
Wow. Well,
so,
we were doing this exact same thing to teams a couple of years ago. You know what I'm saying? So the tides turn in college football sometimes. It's not our year, obviously. This one is.
I'm worried about next year too, though, because our offensive line, we lose most of our offensive line.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of time for recruiting still. There's, a lot going on with transfers and everything else. I have faith in Gus that he will get this thing together for next year. He said in there, I believe, I don't know if it was in that comment or whatever, he said that we're building for the future. We know what we're doing now. We know what we got. We're looking towards the future. We're building this program for the future. So, it's one of those years. I hope that next year doesn't turn into one of those years as well, because that will be not good. I think any coach, though, that comes into a team, this is Gus's first year here, hasn't got a lot of his guys in here yet. We haven't, that's the other thing with Luke Fickell. He's been there since 2017. He's got his guys. He's had his guys. He's built this team. We haven't had a head coach that's been here for more than 2 years for a while, 2 or 3 years.
That's true.
We've had 3 head coaches since Luke Fickell's been at Cincinnati. All right, got to take another break. We'll be right back on Knightline at Night. If you haven't figured it out yet, I love Tijuana Flats. I would love them even if they weren't a partner with us on the Knightline Sports Network. They have all kinds of great Tex-Mex food, and it's fresh, by the way. Made to order burritos, tacos, enchiladas, chimichangas, quesadillas, bowls, nachos, and taco salads. And if you haven't tried the queso, you are completely missing out. It is the best queso that I've ever had in my life. Absolutely hands down. And the sauce bar that they have, everything from wild to mild in there. Absolutely awesome, awesome stuff. Not only do I love the food at Tijuana Flats, but I love the company, a UCF-born company. And they give back to the community with the Justin Queso Foundation. So head to your local Tijuana Flats. Tex-Mex for everyone. Hey Jeep Wrangler owners, have you ever sat in your office at work and watched the rain just pour into your Jeep because the weatherman said that there was a 0 chance of rain? Or you put your doors back on because there was a 100% chance and then not a drop of rain fell? Well, there's a company out there that can help take the worry away and give you the peace of mind to be without your doors. The company's called Life Without Doors. They make waterproof rain curtains and dash covers for Wranglers. Life Without Doors is there to help make the decision to leave the doors at home an easy one. Find out more at lifewithoutdoors.com.
Spice up your company with homemade marketing services from Tasty Gravy Creative. Tasty Gravy serves up a menu of budget-friendly marketing, graphic design, and public relations services customized to your specific goals. Co-owned by a UCF graduate, Tasty Gravy can help refresh your brand, strengthen your online presence, or reinforce your company's message. Contact Tasty Gravy for help with your website, social media, marketing, advertising materials, and more. Visit tastygravy.com.
And now, back to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, Andrew Phegley back with you here on Knightline at Night, live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barr Law, assisting injured veterans get the help they deserve. Give Chad a call at 407-599-9036 or visit protectingvets.com. Well, you can also call Travis Dever for all your New Smyrna Beach real estate needs, 386-690-1636. We're taking your calls if you want to talk to us. Nobody wants to talk to us, I guess. 844-580-9326. 844-580-9326. Or you can use the open mic feature in the WDBO app. Once again, I'm Andrew Phegley, AP_Knightline on Twitter. Big Ben Stout is out this week again, and Roger Phipps is with me at Night Bengal on Twitter, and you can find all the rest of our content on NightlineSports.com. We're talking about the debacle that was the UCF football game last week, or yesterday. It feels like last week. I've thought about it so much. 56-21 loss at the hands of the number 2 ranked now Cincinnati Bearcats. Not a good game. There were some positives, though. So we're going to look at the positives starting off here. Positives. Ryan O'Keefe had 1 carry for 51 yards. I mean, average of 51 yards. That's a good one. 51-yard end-around type thing. Isaiah Bowser was back. That's a positive, right? Not 100% at all. 13 carries, 27 yards, averaging only 2.1 carry during that one, longest being 10. Got a touchdown, though. Mark Anthony Richards, 1 carry for 2 yards, so he averaged 2 yards a carry. 1 touchdown for him as well. Johnny Richardson, 10 carries, 20 yards, so he averaged about 2 yards as well, as long as being 7. So we
were talking about good things here.
Well, I'm trying to list some good things. I mean, they were fairly good.
We did win time of possession.
Did we?
We did.
Yeah, that's
32-48 to 27-12.
Well, that's the problem. We never
We just
win,
kept giving them short fields.
Yeah, exactly. We never win the time of possession. If UCF wins, we normally do never, ever have the time of possession. Let's keep going through a couple things here. Leading receiver, Ryan O'Keefe as well. 7 receptions for 60 yards. Brandon Johnson had a touchdown. Amari Johnson did not. He had the muffed fumble, or the muffed punt return that we were talking about, but he had a carry, a catch, 3 catches for 12 yards. The only receiving touchdown was Brandon Johnson. Tatum Bethune showed up again. He was one of the shining spot in the defense again. 10 total tackles, 3 solo. Devad Wilson showed up a little bit better this time. 8 tackles, 6 solo. Quadric Bullard had a sack. You know what? Here's the deal. Here's one. This is a positive. Our offensive line against that defense, that extremely good defense that Cincinnati has. Remember, folks, defense wins championships, and you saw one that could easily do it. Only 1 sack. Only 1 sack given up by our offensive line with that defense and a freshman quarterback. That is a positive.
Came off of a block from one of our tight ends.
Yeah.
So that wasn't even the offensive line, really.
Well, I mean, there you go, though. There's a positive. I was looking for positives. There you go, right there.
Well, our third down percentage was 41% conversion rate, which is the highest it's been all season. It's actually pretty darn good.
And they've been working on that. That's one of the things that they wanted to work on. Our offensive or defensive third down conversion rate?
Offensive.
Okay, well, yeah, that's
17.
one of the things that Gus has talked about the entire time, that he wanted to fix that. So go ahead.
We also had 25 yards total offense in the middle of the second quarter, and we finished with 296. So That's pretty good for a half of football.
You know who is listed in the defensive stats, which is a little bit weird?
Who?
Daniel Orbowski had a tackle in this game.
Interesting.
Well, it was on a kick return, obviously.
I know, which means the special teams unit and our gunners and everybody else did a terrible job.
Yeah, the kicker should not be making the tackle. But yeah, that's one more thing on the record book of Orbowski. Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing better this year.
Yeah. So was there another kicker in there at the end of the game? Do you know? I need to look at the participation report.
I didn't see.
Because somebody kicked one out of bounds at some point there at the end during the end of the game. I think it was in the fourth quarter. I'll have to see if there was another kicker in the participation report. I haven't gotten there yet. I've been looking at all the rest of it. Maybe you can look there real quick. Trying to find positive things in this thing. UCF goes at it again here very quickly on Friday evening, have a game against Memphis. And that is one of those nationally televised ESPN2 games, 7 p.m. on Friday night. So we need to get going for that. Right now, remember last week we were a 21.5 underdog at the time. I don't even remember the last time we were that big of an underdog. I don't care who you are and where you're at. I just don't remember anything like that for UCF. We are a 3-point favorite at this point, and the over-under is 64 for the UCF Memphis game on Friday night. The matchup predictor, which I love, according to ESPN's Football Power Index, the matchup predictor gives us a 63.9% chance to win that game on Friday night. I like to see a little bit of a higher number there. That is not a good number. 63.9. So, Roger, did you figure it out if there was another punter?
I'm working on it right now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Very good to see Bowser back, like I said. I think I've already said that, but obviously not healthy. Good enough and healthy enough to be out there, but not healthy enough to do a very good job, except for the one touchdown. So as far as first downs, we had 14. They had 23. Not very good. 6 of them were passing. 3 of them we got on penalties, and 5 of them we got rushing. What other stats here are exciting? Completions and attempts, net yards passing. No, that one's not good. I don't know. Roger, what do you got here? Help me out. Time of possession, like you said. Yeah, that's crazy. 32. Because it didn't take them very long to score. That's normally how it works for us. We just got hammered like we had hammered other teams for years. So it's just, I guess it comes back to get you at some point.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't know what else could be said or what the expectation was. I mean, like I said last week, I don't pick against our own team very often, but I just wasn't expecting much. At the end of the other part about this is, guys, I don't want to blame injuries, but we're not playing with a fully stacked deck here.
No, I mean,
right?
That's not an excuse, though. I mean, that's not using that as an excuse. It's the truth. People say, "Oh, that's an excuse." Well, yeah, it's an excuse, but then again, like, it's the truth. So when you say that, like, I mean, our best player on offense is out. Our best player on defense is out. 2 best players on offense are out.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't even know who's out anymore. I don't even know who's out and in anymore, to be honest with you, because there's so many injuries. That injury in the middle with Kalia Davis was huge for the season. He's done. Last week on non-contact, he said he put his foot down, felt his knee pop. It's huge. Huge.
Both of our starting defensive tackles are out.
Yeah. So, oh boy.
At the end, by the way, I did not see anybody else who was kicking, so that must have been Obarski.
Okay, well, maybe he kicked one out of bounds. I don't know. I don't know if they have that stat in there.
They don't
anywhere,
know, because we were looking for that last season when he kept doing it, and they didn't.
Here it is.
Keep
kickoffs for Obarski. Out of bounds. There it is, right there. 2 touchbacks, 1 out of bounds. There it is.
But overall, he's played a lot better this season.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, he's in the defensive stats with a tackle, which is good for him, I guess.
Hey, he's a tall guy, so I mean,
he's a big dude.
It's not like a lot of guys who are out there that are kickers that are smaller guys.
Exactly.
You don't have Adam Vinatieri out there trying to tackle somebody.
Andrew Osteen, 8 punts for 367 yards, 45.5 average. 53 was his longest. And it says team, there was another person, 1 for 8 yards. I don't know what happened with that. Did one touch? It must have touched somebody, or did one get kicked off somebody's head or something?
I didn't see that.
Okay.
At all.
I don't even. I think I missed something with one getting blocked or something like that.
Well, we had that one that got touched.
Was that in the beginning of the game. I missed like the first series. I did miss that. I was driving. I was trying to I watched the game on the beach, by the way, on my phone, because my wife wanted to go to the beach. I was like, oh, okay, well, we have to go there. We have to be there by noon. And it took a little bit longer than noon, which was fine. I enjoyed it. It was beautiful, but not the greatest place to watch a game on your iPhone at the beach. Thank goodness there was cell phone service. Thank you, AT&T. Appreciate that. Not a sponsor, but I appreciate them. So, I don't know. What else do you want to say about this? One of the things I guess that I'd like to say a little bit, I'm getting kind of tired of all the people, and I say this week after week, of people that are on Facebook and Twitter and all these things saying how they could coach the game better. And it drives me crazy because you know what the easiest places to coach a football game from, Roger? It's kind of
couch.
It's the couch,
or the breakfast table the next day.
Yeah, the couch, the breakfast table, or the stands. That is the easiest place that you'll ever coach a football game from. And those guys are not getting paid to coach football games that are coaching from those positions. So, let the coaches do their jobs. It may not be what you want to see. It may not be what you think should have happened. But they're coaches and they get paid millions of dollars for a reason. Even if sometimes it may not look right. I believe our coach is doing what's best for the team. That may just be me. I don't know.
I do feel like we should take the top off of it a little bit more. I mean,
we probably shouldn't. We'll talk about that when we come back. We got to take a break here. We'll be right back on Knightline at Night.
I'm Jeff Allen. Join me each and every week on the Knightline Sports Network for the AAC Report. We bring you in-depth coverage of each school in football, basketball, baseball, softball, soccer, golf, tennis, and more, as well as bring you insider interviews and focus in on the biggest games and news of the week. That's all right here each week on the AAC Report, only on the Knightline Sports Network.
Welcome. This is a promo for the Take a Left at Albuquerque podcast, new to the Knightline Sports Network. You should listen to it. I say things like this.
We need to stop blaming Jerry because we would do the exact same thing if we owned the Dallas freaking Cowboys. Do you know how much fun it is to own the Dallas Cowboys?
My guests will say things sometimes like this.
It's the Lord of the Flies thing that happens when they don't understand that things are wrong. Spoiler alert! Until Piggy dies.
Lord of the Flies has been out for like 100 years. I don't even know.
Sorry to everyone at home who I spoiled the book for. A book's been out for like 90 years or something.
And sometimes, rarely though, I'll say really stupid things like this. If they don't make it out of the West and the Raptors get to the finals, I will go on either this show or whoever's show and say that Kawhi Leonard is overrated because I have too much evidence of it. New episodes drop every Friday with me and some of my good friends right here on the Knightline Sports Network.
And now, back to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, back on Knightline at Night. I'm Andrew Phegley, live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barlaw. Got Roger Phipps at Night Bengal on Twitter with us, and I am AP_Knightline on Twitter. You can find all the rest of our content on NightlineSports.com. Our good friend Jeff Allen, by the way, who did his 100th show of the AAC report this week, did this AAC scoreboard for us. So let's play that real quick.
There were just two other games around the Americans. Seth Hennigan completed 8 of 11 passes for 215 yards and 2 touchdowns. Memphis scored on 5 of its first 6 drives, ending a 3-game losing streak, defeating Navy 35-17 on Thursday. Calvin Austin III continues his big play ability, 69-yard score in a reverse, They gave Memphis a 14-7 lead. One play after Navy had ran a 21-play drive to tie the game as 7, the most plays for any drive by a team at the FBS level this season. Tigers now 1-2 in conference, 4-3 overall. Navy drops to 1-5 overall, 1-3 in conference. And Shamari Brooks scored a 3-yard run with 47 seconds left to play, lifting Tulsa to a come-from-behind 32-31 win over South Florida on Saturday. Golden Hurricane 2-1 in conference, 3-4 overall. The Bulls dropped to 0-2 in conference and 1-5 overall. I'm Jeff Allen. We'll recap this past weekend's games and get set for next week. Plus, news and notes from all sports around the American on this week's AAC report only on the Knightline Sports Network.
All right. Well, he had to be nice and call the cows, which we call them. Yeah. So we normally don't. We're not nice with them, but I mean that was good news right there that they're 1-5. That's awesome. I love it. Speaking of the Memphis Tigers, though, 4-3, 1-2 in conference. We got them coming up on Friday. We usually do our Tijuana Flats hot take of the week with our score predictions. So here we go with that. Welcome to the Tijuana Flats hot take of the week. Visit TijuanaFlats.com for takeout or delivery, or visit your local Tijuana Flats. Tex-Mex for everyone. All right, Tijuana Flats, good stuff there for your fresh Mexican food. It is absolutely one of my favorites. I will be having that this week at some point, I'm sure. Usually most weeks I do. So UCF and Memphis on ESPN2 at 7 p.m. on Friday night. Roger, what is your score prediction for this game this week?
All right. So for this week, my score prediction is going to be 38-32 UCF. Memphis has a great offense, but their defense is lacking. They give up a lot more yards than we do, but they also put together more yards than we do now that we lost Dillon. So I expect this one to be a closer one, but I say 38-32 UCF.
38-32. Okay, well that's close. I hope that it's not that close. Oh boy. I'm gonna say that for some reason, again, I'm it's wishful thinking, I know, but for some reason they let Mikey Keene go and throw the ball a little bit, and we make some big plays. Coach Malzahn said in his press conference that we needed to get the big plays going. We have to have the big plays. I'm going to go with 42-14. 42-14. I think that our defense is feeling pretty bad after this situation, and they're gonna put it to Memphis. And our offense is going to get, going a little bit more. So 42-14. I think that's what I just said. 42-14. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see more, but I just don't know. We're so depleted for injuries. It's horrible that it makes this big of a difference, but it does. I haven't heard anything on Flash. Is he coming back at all this season? They haven't said anything like that. Hopefully we hear something at some point about him and his status. Who else that could come back? There's got to be somebody else out there that can come back.
The other defensive tackle, I can't remember his name, is due back this week. Supposedly he dressed he dressed last game, and they're expecting him to be back this game.
Okay, well that's good, because that would be pretty big if we have that. So yeah, especially if we have him, and then get the defense going a little bit. I'm sure that these guys are hurting. I'm sure that they're not happy with everything. If you watched any of the press conferences that they did over the weekend.
You know what I was happy with? That hit on Ritter. Holy smokes.
Yeah, there was a couple good ones that were out there, and so there are positives out of this. That's what happens when you play the number 3 team, now the number 2 team in the nation. That's what happens. We should have been ranked there, I think, though, a couple of years ago as well. So Cincinnati is benefiting from what we laid the groundwork from. All righty, that's going to do it for us. I'm Andrew Phegley. Go Knight.
Charge on.